All right, hello and welcome to the Pump is Full podcast. This will be an NFL podcast. This is episode number 1. My name is Spencer Lazari, and I'm joined with Zach Smith.
What's up?
Will Harned.
Yo.
And Hudson Chuck.
What's good?
So, what we're going to be discussing today is the NFL QB rankings. We've seen a lot of really shitty ones online, and we've decided that we're going to have our own, and the whole point is not to have a hot take. So,
that's the point.
Yeah, that's the
We're
point.
gonna have our own, my ass, Spencer. You made them yourself.
Yeah,
You made these rankings. These are Spencer's rankings. I don't want to be lumped into this.
I'm a big stat guy, but I would say if everyone could tell their team bias, that would also help a bit, just so we know with the rankings. Zach, go ahead.
I'm a Tampa Bay Bucks fan.
Will?
I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hudson?
I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan.
I'm also a Steelers fan. We also big UK fans, so if any college bias comes out, apologize for that. So I'd say let's jump into it. Kyler Murray for the Arizona Cardinals. Also, we're going to be ranking these on a scale of just 1 to 5 on ranking. So Kyler Murray, Zach, what are you going to put him at?
Well, it's kind of hard since he's a rookie. I would say, what's 2 average?
I'd say so. One's best. 2 is like they can lead their team playoffs.
I would say he's, I guess, 4th then. Like, he's not garbage, but he's just average because he hasn't played a game yet.
Hudson?
I just think he's so unknown right now.
Yeah.
Like Zach said, he's not garbage, but there's so many question marks. I think you can't really rank him until he gets like in a legit NFL game.
Will, do you know who Kyler Murray is?
I do, surprisingly. I would say 3, but he's really short, and I think it's funny, so 4.
No joke. I saw a picture of him standing next to the head coach, and he's like 5'8". He's lucky. He's like a generous 5'8".
Yeah, I think they inflated his stats.
His height's going to be a killer
also
for him.
inflated his height a little bit at the combine. So.
Yeah. It's definitely the hair. I would agree with 4. I feel like 4 is like a really good, like, he could get replaced, but he'll probably be the starter at least for 3 years.
Yeah.
All right.
If you're a rookie, you're going to be a 4 or
Who's their
5.
backup? Who's the Oh, I know who it is. Don't tell me that. I know it. It's somebody. It was Mike Glennon last year. It's not him anymore. It's freaking.
Mike Glennon was on the Bears last year.
No, he's on the court. That was 2 years ago.
Oh, I'm out of it.
I don't know who their backup is. I should have known. It's somebody like a name you know though. Like, I know it's somebody who, like, started somewhere else.
I want to say, I know Logan Thomas is there if you remember him at Virginia Tech, but he doesn't play quarterback anymore.
Yeah, he's like a tight end now.
That popped in my head.
Okay, I'm going to pull up.
I got it right now.
We'll get back to that. Well, let's go over right to Hudson then. Matt Ryan.
What are the rankings? One's the best.
One's best, 5's
Brett
worst.
Hundley, by the way. That's why we know his name.
Tomlin. What would 2 be again?
2's like they're gonna lead them to the playoffs is what I would kind of call it at. 1's like elite. They're gonna win the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna take him at a 1.
1?
It's a
Oh.
1.
All right, Zach, Bucks fan.
I think he's the best quarterback in the NFC South. At this point, I think he's better than Brees. So I would say he's a 1 because he got his team to Super Bowl. It wasn't. I think if they had a defense, they'd be a lot better. I think their offense is never their problem. I think he's pretty elite.
All right, Will.
I'll go 1.5.
1.5. Honestly,
I do like Matt Ryan.
I'd put him in a 1.5 as well because I think he's like.
I know 0.5s or is that
Well, I'm saying like I'm gonna probably end up like.
I was leaning that at first, so I was like, I didn't know if that was an option.
Well, I'm not gonna. I'd say that's more. If we're gonna say 1.5, that's more of a 2, but. I would definitely agree that he's significantly better than like the average quarterback and most other quarterbacks, but I think he's just the fact that he hasn't like win total matters for quarterbacks in the NFL. That's just a stat they grade him on, and
Don't tell Browns fans.
Yeah, don't tell Browns fans. And since just he hasn't like had an immense win total, that just has to put him at 2. Right.
Yeah, the Falcons are weird because 1 year they'll win like 12 games, and then the next year they'll win like 6.
Exactly.
And it's all injuries and their defense. Like, their offense is always good.
And then, like, I think if you're looking at it from like purely like a fantasy perspective too, he has to be like top 3 with like all the talents around him.
He's got Calvin Ridley. He's
Julio.
Julio. Yeah. I don't know why I couldn't think of Julio. All right, Lamar Jackson. What do we got for him?
So we'll start off there.
Yeah, well, thoughts on Lamar?
Hate to say it, I'm gonna go with the fat 5.
A 5. This is
He does have potential though. I don't hate him. Like,
Yeah.
I don't purely hate him.
I don't want like just because like we're UK fans. He's so I shouldn't in like a group chat this PFF stat they have where it shows how inaccurate a quarterback he is, and he's super athletic. He's got great arm strength. He's literally Michael Vick, where he's
What are the fumble stats again?
he had
He leads the league in fumbles and played like 8 games.
yeah. I remember like
And lost half of his fumbles.
I kept telling one of our Louisville, it was Brendan, but I kept telling one of our Louisville fans about that. He had like 8 fumbles in 4 games, and like it's just he didn't lose all of them. He got them back, but still, you just can't lose the ball like that. You're gonna lose so much yardage from that. I'd probably put him at. I don't think he's a 5, but I'd definitely put him at a 4. About Zach Hudson.
I think he's a 4 in his system. I think if you put him on, I mean, the only way he's going to be successful is if you run like that kind of offense where he doesn't have to pass the ball. Because I watched him play the Bucs last year, and he didn't throw the ball beyond 10 yards like the entire game, and he just ran, and they won. But
It's a hard system to run in the NFL.
he literally just a team.
college
I think if
system.
teams figure him out, he's not gonna. I think he's a 5 on any other team.
I watched him play the Steelers, and I think they still had Flacco, and this is the second game when they played in Baltimore, and Pittsburgh won, and he was playing like they shut him down that whole game just because he couldn't run because the Steelers had a capable run defense, and he was just abusing all these other run defenses like the Chiefs, and I don't remember the other teams he played off the top of my head, but he just kept abusing these really crappy defenses.
We'll get back to him in the wide receiver rankings.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
I'd probably put him at a 4. I'm looking at it right now. He rushed like almost about 80 yards a game, which is crazy for a quarterback. Like, I definitely think there are parts of his game that doesn't like make him like a complete like garbage fire.
I think he's the best rushing quarterback in the league.
Oh yeah, no.
Definitely.
Well, actually, hold on. Oh, he's 2 down. Let's skip down to him, then go back to Buffalo. I think Cam Newton's actually a bit. I know both of you might not like that.
I don't agree with that.
It's just I think it's this because he's big bodied and he already has the record for most rushing touchdowns of any
So are we on
QB.
Cam Newton now?
Yeah, we're gonna jump back to Josh Allen. I have him in alphabetical order, but by team. But yeah, Cam Newton.
I think he's a 3. I think he has regressed a ton. I think that he was terrible last year. His shoulders screwed up. He is a good runner, but he's old now.
It's actually surprising. He bumped his average passing yardage before last year was like 58% or 59%. He threw for almost 68%, but I think that's just like screens to McCaffrey out of the backfield.
Their whole offense now is screens to McCaffrey, and
Which is smart because
who
McCaffrey
else
is
do they
actually
have?
really good.
They have
DJ Moore, who's going to be really good.
Funchess isn't that good, but their whole offense now is like the short slants, like stuff like that. So I think he's regressed, and I think their offensive coordinator is Norv Turner. He's not a great coach, so
Yeah.
I don't think the Panthers are anything special. I think Cam's he peaked early on.
All right, Hudson, Will?
I'd probably put it as like a 3. I think Superman's starting to break down.
Yeah.
I think his years are probably numbered, especially with like the shoulder problems last year. I saw some stuff on Twitter that was saying his throwing motion looks like it's looking good in camp. I haven't seen anything. I'd probably rank him at a 3 though.
Ditto.
Yeah.
I just have nothing to say about the Carolina Panthers either. So like, they're a really boring team to me. So
Yeah. I hate Cam Newton, but I'd agree. I'd put him at a 3. All right.
why do you hate Cam Newton?
Just because of how overhyped he was. Like I kept saying, like he's not that good. He's just having a really good season, good runner, horrible thrower, and I'm right.
Also started his career out at Florida with Tebow and Aaron Hernandez and Ryan Lochte. So
Oh,
Riley Cooper.
I forgot about Riley Cooper.
There was a stacked lineup of people.
campus
in Florida
was
at that
interesting back then.
Thanks, Will. All right, Josh Allen for the Bills.
1. No, not really.
Do you know who Josh Allen is?
I do know.
Not
who
the
Josh
Kentucky
Allen
one.
is. Oh shit. Okay.
He actually, there was a stat where he has more rushing yards than Lamar Jackson on scramble runs, and that's like 95%. They both have like 700 rushing yards. Almost all of Lamar's are from design runs, and almost all of Josh Allen's are from just broken plays. So Josh Allen's a better running quarterback is what that tells me. But I also think he's not good. Threw for like 53%. Has a really bad group of receivers, but I think he's like a 4. I'm not going to say he's trash, but he's not good.
I'll say 4 as well.
Hudson, Zach.
Yeah, I'd say 4. He has the biggest arm in football.
I think Mahomes might.
Well, yeah.
Mahomes or Wilson.
I think Allen's is bigger than Wilson's.
I
Allen's
can
is
see that.
the way he throws it so hard, so far. Like Wilson, I don't know. I think Allen.
I bet he'll be in the league for a while, rotating between
Yeah.
starter and backup.
I think he
be
could
painfully
I think his
average.
ceiling's like a 3. Like I think he's just gonna be an average quarterback. I don't think he's garbage though.
Hudson.
I'd go with the 4. They did add a few wide receivers because they were awful last year. Like they did add Cole Beasley from the Cowboys.
That's
That's
Nah.
it's something.
Didn't know he was still in the league.
they added a running back. I can't remember who it was, but
Frank Gore.
Frank Gore. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's.
There have been talks that they might ship out LaShawn McCoy.
Who wants LaShawn McCoy right now though?
Exactly.
All right. I'm gonna say sorry to Big Cat already on this. Mitch Trubisky, he's a 4. I do not think he's good. I really think Mitch is trash.
Yeah, I'm saying 4.
Yeah.
I'd say 4 too. I think
He's in the same category as a lot of those
he's a
quarterbacks
game
that are
manager.
just.
He's a glorified game manager.
Mhm. He had like decent stats. Let me look at it. Yeah, he had like overall like a 95 QBR, a decent completion percentage, but I think he's just a game
I think
manager.
all of his stats came from the Bucks game when they went up 35-0 in the first half.
All right. The Red Rocket, Andy Dalton. What do we have for him here?
5.
5. Yeah.
I'll say 4 just to show I'm not completely biased, but I'm not a fan. I don't hate him, but
He had that one good season when they went. God, I don't even. I think that's when the year they played the Steelers in that playoff game.
When he
Did
got
they
hurt,
win?
McCarron had to take
Oh,
over.
and McCarron came
But
over.
he
Yeah.
was good. Like he would have. They could have actually made a run that year probably.
watching McCarron that game was just
I was
physically painful.
I was actually at both games where I saw him break his thumb because I think he was diving for a fumble,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
then at the playoff game, which
God, that hurt me to watch.
yeah,
I'm gonna go with a 4. I think this is probably his last year in Cincinnati being the starter. I think he can be a solid backup though.
Yeah,
probably
I'd agree with that.
moving on.
I think
Cincinnati.
I think I'll put him at I think 5, but I'm like can accept a 4. All right, here's probably the hottest take of all offseason from the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield. What do we got for there? I'll go last on this
I
one.
don't know, actually.
I think I know what Mitch is going to say. I'll say 3. I don't hate him. I don't love him. I don't know.
I'd say a low 3.
Yeah.
I think he's.
He has a lot of potential for
I think
sure,
he's
though.
good, but I think if he's not as good.
He's
as
also
people make
short.
him out to be, but he is. He's definitely, I'd say, probably right at above average.
Hudson.
I'd go with like a 3. He's gonna have he'll have a potential to move up in lots of rankings this year, just with the adding of talent like Odell and all that around him. But right now, I'd probably keep it like a 3.
Yeah, I'm feeling a 3. I think I thought he had a good season last year, but everybody was like, "Oh wow, look at this." If you added in those a couple more games, you could make the argument that he would lead the NFL in interceptions if he started from the beginning. I'm not saying he would have, but
He only won 1 game out of the state of Ohio last. That didn't take place in the state of Ohio.
now I think he probably should have won the Raiders game. They got screwed in a call, but I think Baker is good. He could potentially be future Browns quarterback who actually plays more than 3 years, but for
As
now,
long as the national media stays on his dick so much. I don't know if we're cussing on this podcast or not, but it's warranted talking about Baker.
yeah.
It's hard to
I
tell.
think he could be a top 10 quarterback. He'll never be a top 5 like they want to say.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be elite, but he's not that short either. He's like Drew Brees' height, but
I think he's a little taller.
he's 6'1", I think. But I think Baker is a solid starter. He could go to the playoffs this year. I don't think they'll win the division, but I think they could easily be.
I feel like
It's not hard to beat Cleveland and Cincy, though.
Yeah,
I feel like with all his talking, like the Daniel Jones comments today, just all his chirping throughout the offseason, I feel like he's just raising the expectations. Like if they don't meet it, the backfire from the media is going to be he's just making it worse and worse the more he
I'd
keeps
agree with
running his
that.
mouth.
one of my friends did send me a tweet though. It says Baker Mayfield shits on Daniel Jones. Everyone freaks out, and then but all of Twitter has done this entire past offseason is just shit on Daniel Jones, which
That is true.
I'm a big fan of shitting on.
I don't know.
Daniel
I
Jones.
watched the first half of that preseason game.
Dude, he went off in that.
I halfway remember
Well-
it was
Is he
pretty.
on this list?
Oh, it's Daniel Jones. Hold your horses there. Dak Prescott. What do we got for him?
4. No, I'll say 3. I don't like that.
I'd say 3. He does not deserve the money he's going to get.
He was a bitch in college. He's still a bitch now.
He might get he's
And
definitely
he got his shit rocked in that video. That was pretty funny.
He's gonna get a huge contract. He should not be the highest paid QB, but
he'll get near $40 million. He'll probably get like 35 to 40.
yeah, that's gonna be crazy. Hudson, got anything?
I'll put him at like a 3.5. I definitely feel like he was kind of in that Mitch category where like he was a game manager first coming to the NFL. He's definitely improved himself like enough to be talked about like the contract talks and stuff. But I don't see him winning a Super Bowl or taking a team to the playoffs.
He also has like he has better receivers now, but last year they were terrible. They had
Amari's good. His game changed before Amari.
Before they traded for him, they had like an undrafted guy, Gallup or whatever. He was their starter.
Yeah.
And then Allen Hurns, and then they didn't have a tight end because Jason Witten retired, and he's back now.
He's back
That's not going to change anything, though.
Jason. But they at least have more talent now. Like they have Randall Cobb. They got some people. So last year I think was the worst supporting staff.
Witten's back, but his hair's gone again. So. Gotta keep that.
Of his hair. Well, I mean, we'll see if Zeke sits out too, though. That their entire offense runs through
That's
Zeke.
True.
All right, Matt Stafford. He's honestly he should be a 3, but I kind of want to put him at a 4 just because he's done nothing with his career and he had a top 5 receiver of all time.
Yeah, I'd say.
Has he won a playoff game?
No,
I think
he's lost both of them.
Yeah,
I was going to say.
He's only been to 2.
He lost in Seattle, and then his first playoff game was in New Orleans.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think the Lions just have. I think they're a bad situation. I
don't understand the
He needs
Lions.
to get
The
out of
cursed
there.
franchise.
Like,
I don't think he.
I think he still has a great arm.
To
but
the
I
common
think they're
NFL
not
fan,
good.
which I may even be below common as far as knowledge and stuff, but people act like he is some god tier, and to me, he has just done nothing. He's fine. He's good.
Yeah, I just say he's fine.
Yeah, I that's what I said. Like I think he's a 3, but I want to put him at a 4 just because I can't think of him doing anything significant with his career. But I'll put him at a 3 because that's what I think he is talent-wise. All right, Aaron Rodgers. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL. I don't know if you all agree with that, but I think he
hates his family.
He does hate his family. He's going to get into a lot of death stares with Matt LaFleur, but I think he's the best QB in the
Older
NFL.
than LaFleur? I know they're like around the same age.
He's a year younger than the Roethlisberger, Rivers, Manning group, and they're all like 36, 37.
I think he's 35. Yeah, I'd say he's a 1. I'd say he's top tier.
I think the only real competition you can put him with is when we get to it, but like Mahomes and maybe.
I'd say just be
Yeah,
Mahomes.
yeah, honestly, just Mahomes.
I'll go with 1 as well.
Yeah.
I'd go with the 1.
He's good at throwing Hail Marys.
Especially like this season, if you've seen like what they've done in the draft the past years, like building up their defense to kind of get behind them.
Like I don't even think that. Like I think Devontae Adams is good, but I don't think he's that good. And besides that, they don't have.
He makes everybody good.
Yeah, he makes like trash men good.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson.
4.
4. Could I elaborate, Will?
I just don't understand the hype behind him either.
Yeah, I'd go with the 4 too. I really don't like.
I have nothing to back it up except for the eye test.
I hate the Texans. I think they are the most overrated team. They've had the worst drafts, the worst free agency. I think they're going to win like 3 games next year. He's good. He was good in what they had because he has DeAndre Hopkins. I do not. They have no line. He's going to be running for his life. I don't think he's top 15.
That's a hot take, Hudson.
I'm gonna put Watson at a 2.
A 2.
I think, especially with like, if Fuller's healthy, Hopkins is the best receiver in the NFL. I think, in my opinion, and with that defense, the secondary is kind of sketchy, but with that pass rushing, I think.
Well, if they keep Clowney.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're about to trade Clowney.
That's a big thing too. I think Watson could take them to the playoffs and potentially a Super Bowl.
I mean, they made it to the playoffs last year, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah, the wild card game.
They did. They lost.
Who'd they play?
Oh, he had like 3 picks that game. That
doesn't help your
They played
case.
the Colts.
Yeah, they got killed.
Oof.
He
Hate
was
to
in
see
Houston
that.
too. It's that weird like 4:00 Saturday playoff.
I remember watching.
It's always like the Titans or like the Texans or the Colts.
I think Watson's at 3, but I'll just put him at a 3, I guess, to balance out the like 4, 2, 3.
What did I say? Did I say 4?
You said 4, yeah. I mean, Hopkins has done more with shitty quarterbacks than anybody else ever has, but
Calvin Johnson had some shitty quarterbacks. Maybe
yeah,
from Detroit.
that's true.
Yeah.
But Hopkins had Brock Osweiler.
What about Tom Savage?
And Tom Savage.
Bring
and
back
TJ,
the Texans legend.
Or
TJ
TJ Yates, yeah.
TJ Yates of hell.
All right, let's move on to. Hold on, let me see. Andrew Luck. I like Andrew Luck. I think he's being overrated this year
Yes.
with his. Hold on, let me adjust something real quick. I think he's been a little bit overrated this year, but I will say that I think he's a 1 quarterback.
I'd say he's a 2. I think he's really good.
2.5.
My biggest thing with him is they have like a weird roster. Like some people think they're gonna be really good, some people think they're not. He throws a ton of interceptions.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing. That's the only reason I wouldn't put him in the elite is because he is wild. Like he throws some crazy passes, and he has an arm. He can do it, but he'll throw like 15 interceptions a year.
I would agree. He's kind of turnover heavy.
I put him like a 2. His injury history scares me though.
Yeah,
I
he's
was-
hurt right now.
I was
Just
gonna
like
say,
all
that's
the
my
weird
biggest thing on him.
I feel like something weird's always going on with him.
Did he play in that playoff game? Yeah. He
Yeah,
came
he
back.
did. They got like dumped on. I'm pretty sure by Kansas City.
That
Yeah.
I
next
think
round,
you had money on that, Will. I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure. I probably
we did have money on that game.
Yeah.
God damn it.
All right, Joe Flacco.
Oh, God.
Is he definitely gonna be the starter like they announced that?
Yeah.
One.
He'll at least be. I was gonna say Joe Flacco, Drew Luck, but I think they'll probably.
I
sit
see
Drew
Flacco
Luck.
getting benched very quickly.
I don't.
He had a big throw last night to
Locke has
Emmanuel
sucked
Sanders.
this preseason. I
Has
don't
he?
know. Yeah, he's not been.
How old is Flacco?
He was terrible. Flacco's like
30,
He was in Matt
30,
Ryan's
34.
draft, so like 34,
Yeah.
33.
Yeah.
But Drew Lock, the Hall of Fame game, he was awful, and then he hasn't looked. He got hurt.
Drew
I think
Lock, the
last
Mizzou
night, he hurt
legend.
his thumb or something, and so like, it's not going to take him out for the year, but he'll be out for the beginning of the year. So like, I think Flacco, he'll make it to like week 6 or 7 before they even do anything. I think he's a 5 though. I think he's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna put him at a 4. Just I'll give him a little respect. Like he's won a Super Bowl, but he's not good. I wouldn't want him
Just
leading my
so-
team.
It's so weird that the Ravens had him and Lamar Jackson, like the polar
Oh my
opposites,
God, yeah.
on the same
And
roster.
then Robert Griffin III right in the middle.
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
I'll go with a 4 as well.
I think I'm gonna put him at a 5.
Not a fan of Flacco.
Yeah, like
Not elite.
yeah, not
Not
elite,
anymore.
not anymore. He had his
He
glory
used
days.
to be a 3, I'd say.
I would agree. At one point he was a 3, but at this point he'll probably be a 5. I think this season. To the Jags, Nick Foles. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, I thought he was going to be really good. Like I thought he was going to kill it, and I think that they've had the worst offense this preseason. Like I know the preseason doesn't mean that much, but they cannot move the ball. Like they have Fournette who gets you like 2 yards carry.
Yeah,
The receivers are Marquise Lee and like
D.D. Westbrook.
D.D. Like they just have a bunch of like.
they do have.
unproven-
I think T.J. Hawkinson's going to be
He
good,
didn't go
but
there. He went to the Lions.
oh
took
shit,
Josh Allen.
who am I thinking of?
They
Oh, never mind.
The real Josh
Strike
Allen.
that. Strike that from the record.
But yeah, I'd say he's. I wanted to put him like a 3 or a. But I think from what I've seen so far, I'd say a high 4. Like he just hasn't. I think he could be good, but his talent's not good around him. Like I thought it was a lot better than it actually is.
Their defensive talent's insane,
Oh,
even with
it
losing.
is. That's only
Tel-
that's his
Telvin
hope
Smith.
to win. Is
Yeah.
if they win the games for him.
Oh,
I'll say 3, leaning towards 2, if he has a good season.
I'm gonna put Foles at a 4, just because, like Zach said, the talent is not there. Fournette's on that like hinge of being talked about as a bust. I mean, he had that one decent year when they made it to the AFC Championship, but he hasn't been much help. But they just kind of lack weapons. I know some people have been really high on D.D. Westbrook, especially from like a fantasy aspect, but they're lacking weapons.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put him
they
at a
have-
4.
They don't have Moncrief anymore. They have
No,
like,
no, we got Steelers got
yeah,
Moncrief
they have
now.
a bunch of just random guys at receiver.
Yeah, they like their offense. They just don't have any good personnel. I don't know how good their line is,
They have
but
Terrell Pryor.
they do have 12 Pryor. I guess he'll save the day.
He can go play quarterback. If something happens.
They're so bad.
All right, I think this is pretty obvious. I don't think he'll win MVP again, but Pat Mahomes, is that pretty
I think
consistent?
he's- yeah,
One.
he's a 1.
One.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, I don't even think that really needs to be discussed. He's
Yeah.
strong arm, elite, really talented. Phillip Rivers.
I'd say he's a 2.
That's what I was thinking.
2.
He's kind of like Stafford, where he hasn't done anything with his career except he's like has the like stats to back it up. Like he's just been unfortunate with how good the other few
Yeah.
AFC, like the Steelers, the Patriots and the Broncos, while Manning was there, have just dominated. Like
The Chargers too, they have like the worst injury luck. Like they have like a star player get hurt. It seems like every year.
Derwin James, I think, is probably the best player on their team. Like
him or Joey Bosa got hurt.
or
last
Joey
year.
Bosa, yeah.
And then Jason Verrett got
they've had a bunch of guys like over the years get hurt, and like I feel like he has to put up with a lot of bad talent too around him. And there are some years they're not good at all, but he still puts up good numbers.
He's got the talent around him too. I mean,
he does now. Yeah.
Despite like,
is Melvin Gordon sitting out? Or?
He doesn't want to sit out for extended time, is what I was reading. So he might do like the Le'Veon Bell thing before he sat out the full year, where he sat out like a couple games. But if he's got Melvin Gordon, he's got Keenan Allen. I know they got a couple.
Hunter Henry's coming back?
Yeah,
tight end.
Yeah, he's good.
And there's a pretty stacked defense. So
I put Rhodes really good too.
I think he's too.
He could go win a Super Bowl, win you some playoff games.
All right, who's next? Oh, Jared Goff. What do you got for this?
I honestly, I'd put.
I'll say 2.5.
I put Goff as a 3. In my opinion, he's a better version of Trubisky. He's Trubisky, but can make more throws with a little more talent.
Mm-hmm.
I think overall he's a game manager similar to him, but with a little more talent around him.
Yeah, I'd say he's a high 3, low 2. I think he's in the perfect system for him. I'd be curious to see if they actually made him like throw the ball. The Rams do a lot of underneath crossing stuff, so it's like not that deep of balls.
Was Sean McVay his coach his first season, or
it's Jeff Fisher?
Okay, I was gonna say, look, he did so much after he got off Jeff Fisher. He was like performed so much better. Which
everyone was calling him a bust after that.
I'm not saying like he's a system QB, but Sean McVay's system definitely like made him significantly better. Yeah. I'd say 3 be a fair spot.
He better have a good season with Blake Bortles backing him up.
Oh yeah, he's got to look out. Doesn't have job security anymore. All right. Okay. Josh Rosen or Ryan Fitzpatrick, because apparently Ryan Fitzpatrick is beating him in training camp right now.
They're both 5s.
Yeah.
As somebody who watched them last week, they're terrible. Like I felt bad for the Dolphins.
That truck was nice though.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick came in the third quarter in a preseason game where the Bucs are playing their third string and Fitzpatrick was running all over him. Rosen, I don't know if he's like, I didn't watch him last year that much in Arizona, but I didn't know he was that like bad. He was getting just destroyed by our second stringers, and we're not that good.
His stats, even though
our defense is not good, he could not do anything against us.
Even though the Cardinals were trash, just like on their roster, and they lost, or David Johnson, they didn't lose him, but he just didn't perform well. He threw 55%, had like 2,200 yards, threw 11 TDs, 14 interceptions. I don't think he played the full season, but still, the fact that Fitzpatrick is even like mentioned as potentially starting over him, like he's not good.
That is not a fan. That's not a team I'd want to be a fan of right now.
Don't worry, Tua is coming.
Tua is coming.
Or
Herbert.
They only gave up a second for him. It wasn't a bad move.
No,
I mean, I think it was good because if you think about it, like if he was in this last year's draft class, he would have been talked about as like the number one guy.
Probably,
with Kyler.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He might, yeah.
So I mean, it made sense just to give him a 2 for that. I'd put them both at a 5 though.
Yeah. All right.
They're going to be awful to watch all year.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins, he can't win big games. I think he's like honestly a 3. If he started winning big games, I think you could put him up. But at this point right now, even though he's got some stats and good receivers, he's a 3 to me.
I'd say he's a 4.
4.
He's a 4. There's so much talent. There's so much talent around him too. It's kind of like it's almost, especially with this Minnesota team. I think Dalvin Cook will be one of the better running backs in the NFL. 2 top 20 receivers probably in Thielen and Diggs.
Yeah.
And then Kyle Rudolph's one of the better tight ends in the NFL. I feel like he doesn't have an excuse.
His line's trash, but with that much talent, like
with that much talent around
I'm
him.
stunned they got worse last year. Like I thought they were
Who's his backup?
This year?
Gosh.
Yeah. Do we know?
Oh, it's somebody like bad. They might be like Trevor Siemian or something.
Yeah.
No, Simeon's on the Jets. I saw him.
Yeah,
when they were
is.
playing the Falcons.
Yeah.
Cousins' backup is bad. That's why I asked. I was just curious.
Yeah, I think Cousins is. I don't know how he got that much money.
He can easily play himself into a 3.
It's Sean Mannion
or Jake Browning. I don't know who's winning.
I don't know
who Jake Browning is. That the
Washington quarterback.
Okay, yeah.
It's actually
okay.
It's Ben Browning.
Ben Browning. Shut up, Ben Browning.
Do you think the Vikings would have been better off if they just kept Case Keenum?
No, I think Kirk's better than Case.
You think he's better than Case?
Yeah.
I think they're
Case did not have a
exact
good year
same.
on the Broncos when he played for that 1 year.
But I know I feel like with the Minnesota, that may have just been like a 1 year fluke. when they
Yeah,
were the NFC
players have 1 year
Championship.
flukes all
Yeah.
the time. All right, what about Brady? What do we got, Brady?
See, I screwed up. I said Mahomes and Rodgers. Brady's still 1.
One.
I'd say so.
I don't see. I would put him at a 2 because I think he's got to decline at some point. He's got to regress.
I think
People
he's
say
still,
that.
But if
until
People
he
say that
does,
every-
I'll keep
exactly.
him a 1.
Yeah.
I thought he was done like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
And he just keeps getting better. He's not better, but he just keeps winning.
I don't want to put him at a 1. I hate him and the Patriots so much, but he's
I respect him.
until he finally hits this regression, which I just want him to hit so bad. He's a 1. Oh God, I hate him so much.
You just said 2.
He's a
Well, I know I want him to be a 2, but
I want him to be a fucking 5.
Well, I'm saying explaining that I know he's got to hit a regression, but
Yeah.
he isn't because he never does.
he's a 1, especially in like I saw a stat somewhere. He takes like some of like the least amount of sacks out of any starting quarterback.
Yeah, he throws the ball in like 3 seconds, and like
It's
he's just like they have their system so perfect that like the only
especially
way he's gonna get regressed. He starts regressing is if he gets hurt. Like he's 40 and he's like a vegan
He's like
now.
42.
No, he's
12,
42.
not the
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah.
he's old.
12.
All right. Drew Brees. What do we got for him? I think he's still a 1, honestly.
1.
I think he's a 2. I'm biased.
I'm gonna go with the 2.
I hate the Saints, but
I said that and looked over at the 2 NFC South fans, and they both were like, "Oh, I don't think he's a 1."
The thing is with Brees is their offense is so like once again with the quick passes, like they don't throw the deep ball anymore. It's like Michael Thomas every single play doing like a
Trash.
curl route, and he does
And
make,
Alvin Kamara too.
yeah, it's just like quick little slants. He does make more mistakes than you'd think. The good thing for him is, aside from the Panthers, their defense is okay. The Bucks and Falcons' defense this past couple of years has been trash, so he's just thrown for like an unreal amount of yards. Like I know the first game last year we beat the Saints, he was making some dumb passes, but like if they're trailing, he starts doing that, but they don't trail much because they're good. I hate them, but they're good. But I don't think he's as good as he used to be.
I'll put him at a 2 because he can still go. He can win you some playoff games, get you to a Super Bowl. I think this is probably. I'm gonna say this, but it's probably not gonna. But I think it's probably his last year
God, I hope so.
being down there, just because I think his contract runs out after this year, and they're in that weird spot where like they're not gonna be good enough to draft like one of the top quarterbacks, but they're not gonna. He's like regressing and he's getting old.
Who's their backup who
Teddy.
plays like every?
Teddy Bridgewater.
No, the
Taysom Hill.
Taysom
from
Hill.
BYU.
Fuck that
Yeah.
guy.
It's like 28.
I hate him. God, he blocked one of our punts last year. He's so annoying.
he's so athletic. He's a 1 in my opinion.
Mormon.
Not Drew Brees, Taysom Hill. All right, Eli Manning and Daniel Jones. We'll do both of them. I think Eli's a 5.
I feel
I'm-
bad for Eli, but yeah, he's
Eli
bad.
is a 5.
Yeah.
Maybe a 6.
I hate that they took him out. Like they destroyed his starting streak for like nothing.
Yeah.
It wasn't for nothing. He sucked.
Oh yeah, but then
They're just that whole team sucks.
they got rid of all their like best players
It's-
through trades and
It's
stuff.
crazy how like when they were winning those Super Bowls, I guess this kind of shows how like winning like covers up a lot of problems. But they were like regarded and talked about as like one of like the most well run franchises. Like they do everything
Yeah.
right, and then it just seems like the past couple of years.
Did they
it's
get
all
like a
just-
new GM or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's from the Panthers.
Yeah.
He's not great.
Yeah, all of a sudden, like you said, they were like really well rounded, and now it's like a shit show.
I put him
Yeah.
like a 4.6. I'm not gonna put him as a 5 just because like
Too much
Two-
respect
I feel
on
bad
him.
for
two
him.
Super Bowls. I gotta respect him, but it's not looking good.
I'll
I feel
tell.
like, yeah, he should have retired early.
Yeah, it's
Take Saquon in fantasy though.
it's yeah, dude. He's number 1 in my opinion. It is insane though, how much like he's regressed comparatively to Roethlisberger and Rivers. Roethlisberger and Rivers are still like regarded as being like
Yeah, they
Like,
still have some
top
years.
end
They
QBs.
still have some years ahead of him.
yeah. I'll say this. I wanted coming into this because we've been playing this for some time. Wanted to put Daniel Jones as a 5. I watched 1 quarter of preseason football and I saw him pass 5 for 5, 60 yards and a touchdown. So
I
he's a
also
4 in
watched
my
that
book.
quarter of the preseason, and I'll give him a 4.
Yeah,
for that quarter.
It was. I actually was watching it, and it was insane how like all his passes were good. The touchdown was insane.
And he went to Duke and played
How
football.
many
So
times
that's
did he go
just
deep?
hilarious.
Oh my! Like twice.
He He went deep. Okay, I didn't. watch
His
it.
touchdown
He's
pass, the
actually-
dude was
That
covered.
pass
And,
in
was
both
sexy.
games.
yeah, like the touchdown was in a spot only his receiver
Because that was
could
the
get.
biggest thing they talked about him coming out, that he can't go deep.
He played well. I'd give him full credit.
Also,
for his game.
don't bet on Duke football after last year.
Yeah,
I feel like we bet
God.
on him a lot, and he just no. It is funny. He went
Why
to
were you
Duke, though.
betting on Duke football?
You gotta.
We definitely put money on Duke football last year.
I don't remember that.
Any more Daniel Jones comments we have out here?
He looks funny.
I think he was a second rounder who got taken. He's still not bad. Like I think he could develop.
They could have
into
had Josh
something.
Allen though.
Yeah, no, they could have.
They could have taken him at the
They
17th
took him.
spot
They
too.
took him around too early, or 10 picks too early. But I don't think he's like the worst quarterback in the league.
I think they just got scared and they
No,
wanted.
they
he was
definitely
their
did.
guy and they didn't want to not get him.
Yeah.
But like, what was rushing them? Because like,
Did they find it weird he was still there? Like,
I
Because
don't-
they want Eli to start
I
this
think
year.
they thought the Dolphins could have gotten him, which I don't know why they would have done that. But then they thought the Dolphins and the Redskins and maybe the
Who else?
Broncos. Like there were teams who needed a quarterback who they got just.
I can actually see John Elway taking Daniel Jones.
But like,
Yeah.
they could have. I mean, they could have gone and taken a guy like Will Greer out of West Virginia on like the third or wherever he got
Yeah.
drafted,
I agree.
and they could have just waited till next year and either got like one of those big three guys are being talked about. I don't understand the
Yeah.
Daniel Jones. But
who's
that's a
the
whole
who's the
other thing.
third big three guy? There's Herbert
And Jake
Tua.
Fromm.
Oh, Jake Fromm.
And
Yeah.
then there's
Fromm's
the
good.
kid from Stanford too.
yeah.
All right. Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold's trash. I think he gets a lot of hype.
5.
I think he's a. Actually, yeah, I'm putting him at a 5. Colin Coward would hate me,
I
but
think he's pretty good. I think he's good. I'm the only one, I guess. But like, I
I
think
like-
he's
I
a
like
high
Darnold.
4.
I put him at high 4.
If we're being honest, I don't know if I've ever watched a snap. Of
He's just a
him.
gunslinger, and this
I'm
team
still going
sucks.
with
So
the
he was
5,
just
though.
throwing it around last year.
I think he's gonna have a better season. I think they're the second best team in that division,
Oh.
probably. And I think having Le'Veon's gonna help a lot.
yeah, they are the second best team.
And
Wow.
their
oh my
receivers.
god, that's
They are.
sad. That's
That's
sad
a
because
scary
they're not
thought.
even good outside
Yeah.
of Jamal Adams and maybe Bell.
Yeah.
I mean, their defensive line's pretty legit with.
They
with
just traded someone, didn't they? It could be. I could be
They
thinking.
have,
of a
they
couple
have
years
Well, they
Leonard
have-
Williams, Quentin Williams.
Oh fuck yeah, they did.
They're
the-
pretty good. Like
Yeah.
their defense is.
They lost Avery Williamson,
Yeah,
which
they
sucks.
they
But
left-
they did get C.J. Mosley too, who's
Okay,
who's
then,
pretty good.
yeah. They're good. Their
And then his
defense is-
receivers are like, they're not like.
It's Robbie Anderson and
They're not like-
Quincy Enunwa. They're like just a bunch of like average.
They're not like
best.
top guys, but like they're a little above average. I think he'll have a much better sophomore season than he did his rookie year.
I'll let you have a 4. I will refuse to put him any higher though. Derek Carr. Oh, he's gonna have such a fun season this year, getting bullied by AB and Vontez.
4.
4.
I think he's. From what we've seen the past few years, he's a 4. I think he could. I think
I don't
his-
understand what happened to him.
His natural position's a 3, I'd say, but he hasn't. Like they've been so bad, and like last year he was crying on the field. Like he.
I think Gruden's just
he
gonna
was a
drive them into the
mess.
fucking ground, and I'm here for
I,
it.
I think that's the worst. He's not mentally strong enough to be with.
What was
AD
Gruden's
right now.
contract? 10 year or 10
Yeah,
years?
it's like
10
eight-
years,
it's like 10
100
or 8
million.
years.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Ownership
I'm
potentially,
gonna-
maybe.
I'm gonna put him at a low 3. I think it's kind of like his make or break it year. Like I think if he can somehow get them to the playoffs, then I think Gruden will probably think, okay, maybe I can work with something. If not, I.
What was their record last year? 4 and 12.
4 and 12.
3 and 13
Yeah,
or 4 and 12.
They beat us. That was rough.
We don't have to talk about that.
Yeah. we don't.
God, Gruden. The only thing I will say about Derek Carr, Gruden is the worst quarterback evaluator ever. And it's weird because he had a TV show.
You had that
about
TV show.
I think I think he had Mayock, and I think they blew the draft too with Cleveland Farrell.
I think it was a safe draft. I actually liked it. I think they should have taken Josh Allen, but their other picks were good.
I really like Jonathan Abram at safety.
I like him. I don't think Josh Jacobs. Like I don't know what. Me personally, I don't think Josh Jacobs was a first rounder. I know that some people might have different opinions. On that,
I don't necessarily think he's first rounder. I think he's gonna be a legit back. Is just like the way he's built. He kind of
Yeah.
looks. He's got that Saquon.
I think he's got
build,
like 3 years of
Mhm.
like being pretty good in him.
I think it's going to be funny watching Gruden and AB because
Oh,
it
they
seems like
already hate
Gruden
each other.
hates people
the
like
helmet stuff is
It's
wild.
funny though with like the first 2 episodes of Hard Knocks because you can see Gruden's pissed off, but like
Yeah.
he just wants like if he'll like I just want AB to come out here and like he has a smile on his face, but you can tell he's not happy.
When he was with the Bucks 10, 15 years ago, he had not Antonio. He had Keyshawn Johnson,
hmm
and Keyshawn was like that was when he was good, and we won a Super Bowl, and then Gruden traded him like right after they won because he's like I hate him. He didn't want to deal with him anymore. So like, I could see AB maybe lasting a year there.
Well, I love. He's like the he's matching Gruden's crazy. I love that video you sent of Gruden just saying like, "I want better execution," and then him just screaming, "I want fucking better execution."
Yeah, he's nuts.
Who do you think wins that backup job? Is it Peterman or is it Glennon?
Oh.
Glennon. Peterman's terrible. Glennon.
Nate Peterman now, no
Nate
longer
Peterman.
Nathan.
Glennon. I think he should never have been a starter, but I think he's a good backup.
I think
Peterman shouldn't be on a
Peterman
team.
could walk into this room right now, and I wouldn't
You
know
would know
which one is
Glennon.
You
which.
know
His
Glennon
neck's
'cause-
like
yeah.
2 feet tall.
Big neck.
His neck alone's 2 feet long.
He got paid $15 million from
The Bears.
the Bears. Yeah,
He was
and
the
then-
Bucks quarterback for a while.
Jesus.
Yeah,
For a few
So-
years.
We're in the wrong profession.
we are. Carson Wentz. I think he's a strong 2 with
He's a
potential to be 1, but right now he's a 2.
for sure.
He's a high 2. I think he
Yeah.
could win a Super Bowl this year. People are talking about them being like the most talented team,
They're
from, like top to bottom in the NFL. I
they're
think
pretty
They are.
they're pretty good. Yeah,
they are.
I think that was quick. All right, let's move on. Who's next? All right, Ben Roethlisberger. What do we have for him? I'll go last. I'll say my
I'd say he's a
bias.
2. I think he's still.
2 in a
Things still
very
good.
scary way, maybe on his way to 3. I don't know. I'll go with the 2 though.
I go with a mid 2.
Mhm. So my take, and this is probably a little bit my bias. I don't think he's a tier 1, but I think he's better than every other tier 2 QB.
Agreed.
I think that just his season last year, even though he kind of had an interception problem, 10 of those were to AB, and
He's had, I think, the most interceptions since I think the past 5 years.
It's him. It was
Yeah.
Or
it
top
was
5
Him,
or
Blake
something.
Bortles, and
Yeah.
Jameis.
well, I think it's partially just
It's a
because
bad
like
list to be on. No
Well,
offense. Sorry.
Well, I think it's
I
just
know.
partially because he had to feed AB, like because obviously we've seen how like crazy he is if he didn't get the ball.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, I don't think he's going to regress. I think
I think we have some good receivers coming up
Yeah.
this year.
Well, I was talking about
Spread
it
it out.
with Hudson on the way over here. If he was ever going to win MVP, it's this next coming season, just because of the storyline
Especially
behind
like
it.
I was saying, I feel like to win the MVP, it's kind of the same with. It's definitely a big thing in the NBA, but like I think it's a big thing in the NFL too. The story behind who
Yeah.
wins the MVP. Like last year was Mahomes being the sophomore to win it, but there was also like the story of Brees being like, oh, he's never won it. It's his first one. Ben's never won it. The story's there. He just has to like statistically have
Mhm.
that to back it up.
And he did lead the league in yards. He had like the most
The
passing.
Steelers
attempts
should
and
probably make the
interceptions.
playoffs too this year.
Yeah, I think
So
they're-
that would help.
I think they'll win the AFC North.
Who's their third receiver? It's gonna be Moncrief.
It's
Is it Washington?
It's Washington.
Washington.
They also have
Switzy.
Switzer, Deontay Johnson, and someone
Okay.
they drafted. So and Juju. So and James Conner,
Did the kid from
Jalen
Akron?
Samuels. Who?
Remember, is that the kid from Akron they drafted? Or was
Toledo.
Toledo?
Toledo,
That's
yeah,
what it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
They also have your boy.
Yeah,
They got Benny
Snell.
Snell, Jalen. I mean, they have a good offense and they have some like.
Mhm,
I
yeah.
wouldn't say they have like an elite defense, but they have like a. They
Like
led the league in
Like
sacks.
there's talent there. I just think it's kind of an unknown a little bit.
Mhm,
especially-
I would agree. I do think I can see. I don't think they're gonna like. I think they'll at least go 9-7. That's the worst.
They
I can,
always do that. They
Yeah.
never actually have like a real bad year.
yeah. All right. Jimmy Garoppolo.
God.
Yeah.
I used to think he's good.
Did you hear that report? He threw like 5 straight picks in practice.
I saw the
Was it
tweet about
5
He
or
has
something
been,
like
Yeah.
that?
he tore his ACL last year, and apparently he has looked just awful since that. And when they traded for him 2 years ago, he came in and won every game, and they were terrible. And he played like a couple games last year. I think he played 2, and he was bad in those. And then this year I think he had one completion last night, and he threw a pick. He had like one completion for like 2 yards, and he threw a pick, and he was like 1 for 6.
Yeah.
What
Like,
are
I-
we going with like 4?
I think he's a low 4. I don't say he's a 5, but like
I can't put him at a 5. Just
He hasn't
'cause-
played enough.
Yeah.
he hasn't done enough.
For
But
sure.
I think if he's not good, the 49ers are screwed because they paid him so much.
Yeah.
I'm-
Well, he just had that little like runoff with
Yeah.
with the Patriots where he kind of showed he could be good.
I'd put him at like a 4.5, but there's not much around him besides George Kittle.
They
If you-
drafted Debo Samuel. I don't know if he's
Yeah.
going to be good,
I mean,
but
if you look at it,
Their running back core is
they're
not
a
good
little-
either.
They're a
They have
little
a
scarce at
weird.
weapons.
They have
Mhm.
a weird roster.
I honestly probably couldn't name any other player on the 49ers or the coach. So
Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan's a
He's
good
a
coach.
good coach.
Yeah, didn't he was on the
John
Falcons?
Lynch
Falcons
is their
FC
general
was
manager.
Super
Mhm.
Bowl.
He's a Bucks legend, but he sucks as a drill manager.
All right. Russell, so I'd say like 4, I guess, putting for that. Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson's 1. He's so
He's
good.
a one. He's a stud.
1.
Yeah, low 1, high 2.
Yeah,
He's-
low 1 for
yeah.
sure.
I put him like a mid one. I really like. I feel like this team he has around him. I think it's gonna
Yeah,
mesh
they're
well.
good
Like,
this year.
He's
We're-
great running, great
we were talking.
deep
There's
threat.
tons of running backs. Like 3. They're like 3 deep with backs.
I remember last year people thought the Seahawks were going to go like they thought they were going to have like a top 5 pick, and they were not. Like their roster was not talented last year, and he won them like so many games.
He's so mobile, but he doesn't have to be. His arm's so strong.
He's so smart with being mobile too. Like he doesn't take big hits.
Yeah. He's just a good talent. And with Tyler Lockett and DK, he's just gonna his deep ball is gonna be so pretty this year.
Yeah.
All right, Zach,
My boy.
Jameis Winston.
Okay, I'm going to go first. I think based off what we've seen so far, he's a 4, if that. I think he has been in the worst system possible for him. Dirk Cutter was his coach, and Dirk Cutter didn't want to draft him. He wanted Mariota. I don't know if people know that, but Cutter wanted Mariota instead of Winston. Lovie Smith wanted Winston, and so that's why we took Jameis. I think with Bruce Arians, the whole system, like we've talked about these system quarterbacks like Brees and some of those guys who they design the offense around, Cutter never did that with Jameis. So Jameis was throwing 50-yard bombs every play. That's why he threw so many interceptions. And I don't think he's elite. I think his ceiling's probably a 3, but I don't think he's as bad as people think.
I kind of want to put him at a 3 because I feel like I know what he can do, but just based on his performance that he's had.
Yeah, that's where I'd be. He's won us more games people know. Like he and Mike Evans
he's a good connection with Mike Evans. Mike Evans
is one of the best in the league. And people don't talk about it because we lose, but
Mike Evans is top 5 receiver.
Yeah, he's had no running game any year he's been in Tampa. Literally none. His defense, he always plays from behind. If Arians is his last chance, pretty much. But I think this year the Bucs win like 8 or 9 games, and I think he'll be. He's not going to be at Mahomes, that kind of player. I think he'll just limit the turnovers. Because he threw 4 interceptions against the Bengals last year. The Bengals sucked last year.
They had the worst defense last year, I'm pretty sure.
And they benched him for Fitzmagic. He came back and he only threw I think he went like 9-2. Like in his 2 interceptions were like end of the game, like Hail Marys.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's a lot better than people think.
I would say I can for right now. I think I want to put him at a 4, but
that's fair.
He'd be a 3.
I'm gonna put him at a low 3. This might be, I guess, kind of a hot take a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the running for I don't really know how the comeback player works.
Don't say MVP.
There's not like a breakout. If there was like a breakout award,
I'd say that, yeah.
But I think if there was a breakout award, he would definitely be. I feel like he'd be up there because if you look at it, especially from a fantasy perspective, Evans is being taken as one of the top receivers.
Oh, Chris Godwin.
Chris Godwin's getting
he's
hyped
better
up.
than Deshaun Jackson.
And then I think OJ Howard's going to be one of the best tight ends. So those are 3 legitimate weapons around him. I think James is going to have a pretty good year. But I put him at a low 3 right now.
Bill, do you know any of those players we just said?
I'll go with a 4. I don't like James.
I kind of want to put him at a 3 now. Just
the Bucs fan put him at a 4.
Who's their starting running back going to be? Is he Peyton Barber?
Peyton Barber and Ronald Jones. Peyton Barber's he's better than people think, but literally our offensive line, it's still pretty bad. But it was so Dirk Cutter's offense was like a bomb down the field. It was a vertical offense, and all of his running plays where they faked the pass, and so by the time they handed the ball off, the linemen were in the backfield. So we've just had no running game, and Ronald Jones we picked 35th overall last year.
It was a high.
He didn't even play. He literally couldn't even get on the field, and this year he's looked pretty good in the preseason. So I think we'll be better in that. I don't think they're elite or anything, but they'll be serviceable.
Right. Mariota / Tannehill. 'Cause I don't even know what's going to happen in Tennessee with that. What do we got for that?
I'd say Tannehill's better.
Tannehill's the better starting quarterback, without a doubt.
I don't think he'll start, but I think he's better.
I don't know why I said starting. I think he's better than Mariota. I think Mariota will start off the season, but I think Tannehill will probably find his way in there halfway through.
I think Mariota probably has the higher ceiling, but hasn't proven
He's so weirdly safe. He
hasn't
doesn't.
anything.
The Titans have they have Adam Humphries now as one of our old guys, and he's like a blanket. You just throw it to him when you're about to get sacked. But they have Corey Davis, who they took 4th overall, and he hasn't done anything.
Oh yeah, he's done nothing.
They just have a bunch of these guys who haven't done anything, and they have Derrick Henry, who's hit or miss.
I think AJ Brown. I think
AJ Brown's going to be their number 1 guy
Mm-hmm.
soon. But Mariota, he's just. I think last year he threw more picks than he threw touchdowns. I'm pretty sure that's the case.
I got his stats up. He threw 11 touchdowns. I think he was injured part of it, but
he was injured at the end.
He threw 11 TDs, 8 picks.
So it's still not good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Their offense is just the most vanilla, not fun offense.
I do think Derrick Henry. I think. I don't know. He showed he could be good, so I think he might pop off.
Yeah.
And like I said, AJ Brown, along with both the Ole Miss boys, receivers, I think are going to be pretty good. So
Zach has like a good point though. Like with Mariota's skill set, he's like so safe, which makes no sense. Like because he's mobile, he can run. Like he did that in college, but I feel like he's never done that in the NFL, and he plays it way too safe.
yeah. So what are we feeling? I think Mariota is. Put a lot of people at 4, but I don't think he's
Mariota
absolute.
4.
Tannehill's honestly a 4, but he's like a better 4.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I was gonna go with.
I'd have him at like a high 4, both of them.
Yeah. All right, and then Washington. I don't even know who's the starter, so you guys can just kind of.
It's- I think there was a report
4
today
or
they're going
5.
to do Keenum. Keenum's a 5. He was good with the Vikings, but it was like
It's like a
I can't
one-hit
believe
wonder.
There's a
Colt McCoy is
one-year
actually in the
thing.
league. That is just
yeah.
mind blowing.
Because I remember watching Keenum with
Colt
the
McCoy.
Rams, and he was so bad. Like he was so bad, and then the Vikings signed him to be a backup. He was good, and then he's terrible at the Broncos last year. The Redskins, they have like a weird. They also have like a weird skill position like roster. Like they have Josh Doxson.
Doxson, yeah, they have Terry McLaurin. Or
He's
whatever.
he's all right.
Yeah.
Running back they have Geis, but he's hurt.
Who else do they
He's coming
have?
back from
They
hurt.
have
AP.
AP.
Oh yeah, so
Like they have a bunch of older guys.
they're not going to have Trent Williams. I don't
Jordan
think.
Reed.
I don't know how that's going
Williams
to.
isn't playing.
He isn't.
No, because
I don't think their defense is pretty good.
that story's been so weird. Like the medical stuff, all the medical stuff.
Yeah, I don't. I would say Haskins could be a 3.
I think
he's
I was
pretty
gonna
good.
say that. I actually
but
think Haskins is really
They're
good.
probably smart not to play him starting out because they're not. I don't think they're going to be good this year.
All right. What are you two feeling for Haskins? I feel like the other 2 are 5s, but
I think Haskins, like Zach said, I think it's smart not to play him. I think he can be good. I feel like the Redskins are so dysfunctional that they'll probably end up screwing him up.
Yeah,
But like he has a big time arm. Like you saw that at Ohio State. You can see that you saw that like his pre-draft stuff. I'd probably put him at like a low 4 just because he's unknown. In case Keenum probably be a 5.
So
yeah.
yeah.
All right. So just going over our list. So for our tier 1s, we have Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes, Brady, Wilson. For 2, we have Rivers, Brees, Wentz, Ben. Can't read my own handwriting, so we'll just never know.
Is it Matt Ryan?
Matt Ryan. Yeah, Matt
Yeah,
Ryan.
I'm sure all 5 people listening to this are going to be crushed.
I know they're gonna be distraught. Sorry about that if you can't remember that.
Sorry, Kistler.
Yeah, sorry. 3 is Cam Newton, Mayfield, Prescott. Still can't remember him. Garoppolo, Deshaun Watson, and someone whose name I also can't read. I should really get better handwriting. Oh well, we'll figure it out.
It's only episode 1.
I know. Yeah, we'll
This is a
learn.
learning experience.
Yeah,
guys.
I'll go to creative writing class.
you're a stats guy now.
We need to get a producer. So
I was gonna ask Eric.
We'll
but
get
Gooch.
yeah, Gooch.
Get Mo presentation. You fix all that.
He will. He'll
Yeah, we'll
pick
get
this
Moke
up.
in here to tutor
Moke
Spencer
will tutor you.
one podcast. But yeah, Gooch would be a decent producer.
Hey, Gooch.
I feel like he would
Hey.
be like we'd get a camera up there to record us, and he would just forget to push the play button. It's like we would do this whole podcast, and he'd be like watching it through the screen, but it would never be
You'd be like,
recording.
oh shit, I didn't do it. 4, Kyler, Lamar, Josh Allen, Trubisky, Dalton, Foles, Cousins, Daniel Jones, my boy. Sam Darnold.
Space, man.
I know, I really should. I at least should
rough.
fix this. Should have just wrote their names. You learned. Oh, Derek Carr, Garoppolo, Winston.
You said Garoppolo twice.
It's because he's that much of a 4. I need to reemphasize it. And then for 5 we have who we got here. We got
Bad ones.
bad ones. We have bad quarterbacks at number 5. I think.
I bet I can guess.
I don't even
one
think
first
they deserve
try.
to be mentioned.
Let's go.
Okay.
I just wrote their initials, which I probably should have.
Initials.
What are you doing,
Hold
Spence?
on, let me. You know what? I'll just hold down the list. All right.
Dude, we've already gone through it. There's no point in going through
Yeah,
this now.
I
We're
know.
gonna have to cut all this out.
We are. Our editor, get on that. That's me. I'll fix this. All right. Will, do you want to talk about the big news in football real quick before we cut off? Todd Gurley has a cat. Do you have any news on that?
Imagine adopting a live animal for the fucking bag. I don't blame him for getting the bag, but it's kind of weird.
I know. Hulu has live sports. Oh, speaking of sponsors, Will, do we have any?
We have many sponsors this week. Sponsor.
They're all lined up.
Our first sponsor is Blue Moon.
Oh fuck! I had beer. Why do we not drink beer during this?
No, we haven't been drinking beer. We've been drinking Blue Moons.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks, Blue Moon.
Damn, I really had.
All right.
Imagine drinking a nice beer and getting a bag for it. Shout out
Yeah.
Blue Moon.
Yeah, shout out Blue Moon. Hopefully they haven't sponsored us yet, but we want them to. All right, this has been the first episode of the Pump Us Full podcast. I'm sure it's gone just as good for us as it has for you all.
It's gone better than I thought.
Yeah. Any last words from you all?
Go to Vegas and bet your whole mortgage on University of Kentucky football.
Yeah,
over
we're looking for a
6.5
gambling
wins.
consultant to come in and like be a field reporter. So,
I will do that. I will be that.
Okay, well, you'll help Will out because
Yes.
we could call up like Jackson or somebody like that, just randomly like, what are your thoughts on this?
Ooh, I like having Colin guess.
See, I think we should just do that. We should just fuck with people like when they
And
don't
we
even know
shouldn't
we're
we
recording.
shouldn't tell them we're gonna
Yeah.
call them.
Ooh.
Have like a question of the week.
Are we cutting all this
Yeah,
part
we'll
out?
Oh no, we.
No, we're not
No,
gonna.
no,
That's
no,
too much work.
Yeah.
for Spencer.
What are the odds they actually listen to this?
Probably wouldn't get that. What are we at right now?
55 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
that's
gotta
perfect,
end
man.
this.
Listen
Alright.
to it at double speed.
All right. This has been the Pump Is Full podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.